This evening's guest comes all the way from Lanzarote by way of Dublin. It's Francy Luzoho. How you doing, Francy?
Yourself. I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I cannot complain. We've got a bit of sun out here. We're challenging you
Mm.
for the weather, so can't complain.
Oof. Ours was what? Almost 30. What was yours? So I guess we
Not
won.
that. Not that at all. So listen, how are you,
Mm.
Francy? How's life treating you out in Lanzarote?
I'm fantastic. Couldn't be any better. Do you know what I mean? I'm blessed. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm content. Everything above. I'm good.
2 years out of the ring, absolutely, probably the longest time that most pros have had to spend out the ring.
Yeah.
2 years out the ring, you then have a date. Unfortunately, then there's dramas around that date. Can you give me a little bit of a discussion around that?
Yeah. So we do it like the day before. Obviously, is the weigh in. The weigh-in goes in without a hitch. A little bit of a hitch. Your man comes in, I think a pound over, which we agreed on 63.5. He comes in like at 64, 3 or something like that. But, I was a bit annoyed because obviously, you're cutting weight. Everyone's, gets annoyed. So then it comes on it adds a bit of spice to the fight. So, I had intentions to hurt the man to kind of make him pay for, not coming in professionally. So then it comes in the fight day. So we are on after the break. So we would have been the first fight after the break. So, the break is done, 5 minutes to get ready. And then the doctors come in and saying, oh, we both need to take the test again. And we're like, why? I'm wrapped up, my hands are wrapped up and everything. So we both take the test. We come and it comes back after it's an antigen test. Them antigen tests are brutal. They don't give you the 100% on if it's accurate or not. And then my opponent comes back positive, and then the doctor goes, listen, it's my name on this and I can't let this go ahead. So the fight is going to have to be cancelled. So I'm just standing there in awe and amazement. I'm like, in my head, it's like, please let me get in the ring and fight. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not going to kill me. Do you know what I mean? I've had people around me or other people have had it and, nothing's happened to me, taking the proper procedures, but let me get in there and fight. And then, no, can't go ahead. It's my name. If I let it go ahead, I would lose my job, yada, yada, yada. Understandable. And it fully sank in when I had to take off my gloves. And then they announced the other fight was jumping ahead. And I just sat there and literally just said, God, I know you're testing me and I know I have faith. Please let something good come from this because, I've been out way too long. I can't do another 2 years or a year or 6 months or this. I can't do it. So please, God, give me what I deserve. And then, fortunately, we had someone there, that he just worked his magic and just, seeing the way I worked, seeing the way I trained, how long I've been trained to get ready for this. And he said, listen, I can get you another show in Luxembourg, what I mean? And then I make sure all the expenses and flights and everything are covered. And I was like, wow, thank you, brother. Shout out to Connor Slater. Amazing person, a genuinely amazing person. I'm ever forever grateful for this, this man helping me get on another show and, getting back on winning ways, what I mean? Forever indebted to that guy. The rest is history.
What a drama. Finding it really hard to believe that it got to that stage where that's total incompetence. It gets to the stage where you're wrapped up, you're ready to go in the ring, and all of a sudden they decide to give you a COVID test. Do you know the reason? Did you have one before, or was there a reason why they decided to give you another one if that
I
was
don't
the
know
case
if
that you
it's
had one before?
because we had one before and that was okay. Nothing happened really on that one. So I don't know what was the reason behind it. So, the original ones, I didn't know the results of the originals ones, but it must have been something must have popped up or something like that. The doctor felt like they need to have another one. And, he's only doing his job, all respects to him. And it's just unfortunate. It was just my unlucky night, it just added fuel to the fire. And it's just another story that is added to the Francy, Luzoho career, which is going to be a movie. Man. Please God, I reach my goals.
What's amazing about that story is the fact that literally on the same night you get offered something else.
That's why I just knew everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? It was, I'd never know. I never know what God's plans are, but like, something. I just believe that had to happen for a reason. This Luxembourg fight had to happen for a reason. So it just means that something now around the corner, something amazing and big is going to come from this. You know what I mean? I might even get the Campbell Hatton fight. You never know.
So, yeah, before we talk about that, I mean, firstly, you obviously got the win out in Luxembourg, which that must have been a relief.
Oh, it was. It was such a relief that I wanted to stay in longer. Like, it was like an outer body experience. When I got in the ring, before I knew it, my hand was raised and it was like, is it over already? Do you know what I mean? I would have literally paid them another whatever money I had to pay to add on another 4 or 5 rounds to it. Do you know what I mean? I wish it was, 12 rounds. I honestly wish it was 12 rounds. I got it done, got the ring rust out of the way, I know what I need to work on, and it was great to be back.
I've noticed that obviously the fight before that, you had a loss against Martin Quinn, bit of controversy around
Not
that
a loss.
decision.
I don't consider that a loss.
Consider it a
robbery. I don't consider it a loss. I consider it a robbery.
Oh, I did say there was some controversy around it. But since then, you've changed your trainer and your team around you. Was that a result of that, or was that something else?
It was more or less like I knew Dublin wouldn't have been the place for me to train. Before that, I had a pro debut where I faced Sam Jones and stopped him in the 3rd round. But that was due to I was out in Tenerife training it in Povedano with Emmanuel. Amazing trainer, knows his stuff. You know what I mean? And he got me ready for that fight. We did a whole camp out there, sparred and everything. And he just gave me whatever. And I returned back home to Dublin and I linked up with my old trainer, but it was more or less I knew what I was going to do anyways. So I just went in and done the job because I knew I was physically stronger, physically faster, everything. I was just in the zone. And then when I did the Martin Quinn fight, you know yourself, sometimes camp works, sometimes it doesn't. There's some things that kind of, get in the way of camp, that you can't go fully, injuries, outside problems. And, also you have to bear in mind, you have to sell tickets and all this as well. And it just, everything didn't play in my favor. The weight control, at that time, I really wasn't great at my weight control. I'd eat everything off and then I'd be like, oh no, I'll burn it off because I have an 8-pack I can get rid of it. But it doesn't work like that. To be a professional, you have to really, truly be a professional. And that was the period I knew if I wanted to achieve my goals and better myself, I needed to really step out of my comfort zone again and go out to the place that made me into the monster I was from the previous fight, because it worked for me. And the Dublin one just didn't work out for me. Too many, stress and problems around Dublin that just, puts a dark cloud over your head. And bear in mind, my trainer, did everything he could for camp, but it didn't really, connect. It didn't really, polish off. I was a better boxer, better fighter, better everything, stronger. Like I rattled the guy, nearly all the rounds. Do you know what I mean? And dominated from round 1 to 5. I'll give him 5. As a man, I know I'll give him round 5. He took that because I was bollocks. You know what I mean? First time doing 6 rounders, and then 6th round I bounced back to hurt him again. But it just didn't fall in my favor. You know what I mean? Like they said, the referee didn't see. Probably thought I was an away opponent. Probably didn't know I was from Dublin, so he didn't give it to me. So, but I look at it this way: if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today. So it's a blessing in disguise.
I mean, it seems to me from looking at some of the stuff on social media, obviously I've met Jonathan. I kind of see how you guys are working over at Champs Camp. It's very much, or it seems very much like a boxing, some boxers go away to camp. It seems like you guys are away from distractions and in camp all the time.
We definitely are. You know what I mean? It's we live that life. You know what I mean? Before Jonathan, I already had that, that drive, that dedication, the passion to work. It was already instilled on me. So I just needed someone now to kind of add the polishing touches to it, you know what I mean, to help me, you know, unlock some of the boxes that, you know, mentally I couldn't, because I didn't know what it was to really train like a professional at the time. And he did, and he, you know, made me realize what it means to be a professional and how to train like a professional. And with that, I used the key to unlock the box, and it just opened up Francy to a different level, you know, a different monster, a different, you know, brownie.
I know that you came into boxing quite late, but what led you into boxing? What was your amateur career like? I'm assuming quite short because of the age that you came into boxing. But what was the first thing that made you go, do you know what, I fancy getting into boxing training?
Funny enough, it was because I was training with St. Pat's Athletics and Bohemian, and I picked up an injury trying out for Bohemians, which tore my quad. And it was a traumatic injury, like, you know, having your quad torn, and then your inside, you can feel the blood going up and down as you stand up, legs swollen. You can't put straighten it. It was literally like my leg was unusable for 3 to 6 months, you know, man, and it was painful. I had to go through, you know, rehab, and then my mom says, look, do something, you know, watch something and get your mind off, you know, getting back to play football, because you need to, you know, do you first. You need to get better first. You know, I listened to my mom, you know, I love my mom, and I did. I went on to YouTube, so I decided, okay, let me watch a bit of Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, but more or less Ronaldinho, because I love Ronaldinho, you know what I mean? His gameplay was amazing. But that was the time when they started doing the YouTube ads. And funny enough, Roy Jones popped up on one of the YouTube ads. I was like, what's going on? So I clicked on it, trying to exit, but I clicked on it. And then I stumbled on the one where he was doing the chicken dance, where he put his hand behind the back, bob left and right, and then came back with a, you know, a left hook, knocking his opponent out. And I was like, wow, who is this guy? Do you know what I mean? And then I just stumbled on his documentary, how he got robbed in the Olympics. And from there, how he turned professionals, the falling out with his dad, and how he was just knocking people out. And he went all the way to, I think it was light heavyweight, was it? Or something like that. And where he went to win and won multiple titles. I was just amazed. I was in awe. I was like, this guy's amazing. And the way he used to wear tassels on his boots, I was like, wow, this guy is like, I need to try this shit. Sorry for my French. I need to start this out. Like, I need to try it out. Like, I need to see what it's about. And that's what got me hooked. Roy Jones Jr. did.
Yeah, nice. Good role model, though, to be fair.
Oh, amazing. And one on my bucket list is to go down to his gym and train with him. Do you know what I mean?
Also, just, I understand that you're from the Congo originally. What brought your family to, you were Galway first, weren't you? And then eventually settled in Dublin. How'd that come about?
I don't know. It's one of those where, you know, Congo didn't have really many, what my mom told me anyways, she goes, it didn't have many advantages for them or for us, you know, growing up. So they kind of said, like, they took it upon themselves. At the time, I was very, very, very young. I think it was only newbornish. So they just said, looking out for me and looking out for, you know, the future, they just said it's better to go to Europe. It's better to go to a place where, you know, I'd get the full education the best way possible. And I don't know how they ended up picking Ireland. That is just out middle of nowhere. Like, you know, I love it. I love Ireland. It's my home, you know. I mean, I love this country. Like, but it's just funny enough. Sometimes I ask them, what made you come here? And they just look at me, and they sometimes, I don't think they know themselves why they picked Ireland, you know what I mean? And it just happened. And I was like, you know, I'm glad you did anyways, because, you know, it's my stepmom. It's what adds the fire to me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I have a mom and a stepmom, and Congo is my mom, and Ireland is my stepmom, where I get the fire and the passion. That's why I have the 2 country flags tatted on me. So I love them with passion.
Talk to me about that experience as a young man.
I wouldn't really remember much because I was a baby coming into this country. So my majority of my memory is being in Ireland, you know, being in Galway. So it's hard, but my mom tells me stories, and sometimes a glimpse of memory hits me as well, you know what I mean? how it is to, you know, come from a country that is hard. It's going through hell and fire. Don't get me wrong, to this day, Deontay Wilder, to this day. You know what I mean? But listen, it's what adds fire. It's what gives me, you know, a thick skin. It's what gives me, you know, fire to achieve that many people say it's impossible. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I do want to be a world champion. And to say it nowadays is like saying it's blasphemy. Like, oh, you won't achieve it. You know how many boxers are around the world? But, you know I will get there. And when I do, it's going to be, you know, a miracle story. I look at myself as a miracle story because I'm ready inspiring people, you know. I'm doing stuff that many people said I couldn't do. You know, people said I couldn't bounce back. I'm bouncing back. Yeah, I'm taking the hard road. The hard road is hard. You know, man, you know, I'm paying for shows to get onto shows just to live my dream. But listen, I invest in myself and I know I'm going to reach my goals, you know, man. And I know when I get there, I'm going to shine like a bright star and nobody can stop me from shining.
I'm guessing some of your experiences with racism and stuff as a child has kind of shaped you into this, you know, this person that will not be denied. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah, I can't be denied. I won't be denied. It's impossible to deny me. You know what I mean? You can try every way, form possible, boy. So I'm just gonna keep popping my head in there, and I'm sooner or later I'm gonna break down the door, if not already crack the door. Do you know what I mean? But it's like I said, everything happens for a reason. Every experience is good or bad, is still an experience for the to shape your life, your career, what road you're going down to. I love my experience, no matter how painful, no matter how, you know, beautiful, you know, hurtful or good it is. It's made me who I am today. And I'm grateful for that.
And so then you kind of pick up your bags and you move to Lanzarote. I mean, is that a whole family have kind of picked up and gone, or is this just you on your own?
It's just me, you know what I mean? You know, I've loved the ones out here with me as well. You know, we grinding, we working together to get where we need to get. And, you know, I'm blessed and I have a great support system, you know what I mean, around me to help me achieve. We've been a great support system back home. Friends that always text me, ring me and let me know, you know, keep going, you're achieving your goals. So, you know, I'm happy to have an honest and loyal support system because it took a while to, you know, get that support system. You needed to go through failure, and that fight that, you know, was taken from me, my moment, you know, shaped that and helped me, you know, see people around me for who they are and who really is by me and for me. And, you know, thank God, you know, have a tight circle, you know, great circle around me, and the sky's the limit. That's boxing. You have people that jump on board, people that are fake supporters, real supporters. It all comes down to when you lose or when you win, because that's when true colors show.
100%.
When you lose, people talk absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Like example, I think it was in the weekend, Rickson lost his fight. Look how many people are talking nonsense about him. Oh, he's useless, he's washed over, he's done, he's this and that. But don't get me twisted. Did he not bring boxing to Newcastle? Like, you know, did he not bring the big TV, the Eddie Hearn down to Newcastle?
He did.
So without him, these young, you know, fighters that are coming through Newcastle wouldn't be getting that opportunity. So you have to give that man respect, and he's going to bounce back even stronger and better. And it's them type of people that motivate me more, because they have taken L's. They're going through adversity and they're in that high level and they always bounce back. My boy Joe Laws, you know, after, you know, a terrible loss.
I mean, everyone abandoned him, really, didn't
everyone
they?
abandoned him. Everyone abandoned him. You know what I mean? And it's clear to see everyone abandoned him. You know what I mean? He lost. People were slagging him after losing his nanny. Like, you know what I mean? Being through such pain and hardship and losing a family member that he truly loved. And you can tell this guy loved his nanny. And I love Joe Laws. And I'm happy that he bounced back and slapped a few people that dealt with him. Now watch how many people are going to jump back on the train and be like, oh, Joe Laws, I love you, Joe Laws. But it's made Joe Laws wiser. So he can pick out from the fakes to the real. People that have laid their, you know, lives on the line for this sport to add to its legacy. Do you know what I mean? And it's sad. Where in UFC they fight, bust, and then they lost. Okay, they bounce back to a bigger fight. People love them. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like we have to kind of replace the UFC supporters and put them in boxing. Don't get me wrong, it's a scary place to be. Like, I can honestly hold my hand on heart. I was depressed when I lost because I knew I didn't deserve to lose. I knew I was the true warrior and the true champion that night, but they took it from me. And that would made it even more painful. And I had to go through that myself. There's so many things people can say, you bounce back champ, you this. But I won't lie, I cried. You know what I mean? It hurt. You know what I mean? As a man, I can admit to it. And it put me in a dark place where, you know, only you can pick yourself out of it. And when you pick yourself and come out of it, you're ever more a monster than what you were. I was falling for the hype. I felt, you know, some of the hype as well, you know what I mean? But I think what people are scared of is the massive reset, is the praises they get from people, the love they get from people. They're afraid of losing all that. They're afraid of figuring out who is their true friends, who are their truest supporters. They're afraid to say that their circle might be a lot smaller what they think. Do you know what I mean? They're afraid of losing. Oh, this verified guy loves me because I'm winning. I might lose him. He might never text me again because I lost. But listen, social media, everything has a time and a place. Social media, one day, Instagram and everything else will die off. The only thing that stays is your soul, your work, your love, and your dedication for what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, it's you and him and the referee just to make sure everyone's okay. And it might not even be boxing. It might be your life goals. It might be work. It might be your 9 to 5. It might be whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Always hold your head high.
Francy, what goals do you have for, let's say, the next year?
The next year, you know what I mean? Irish title. You know, people laugh and say, "Oh, why do you want an Irish title?" It's meaningless. It means a lot to me. You know, I come from Ireland. I want to win it. I'm not a true champ. I can't consider thinking about other titles unless I win something from my area, from my home, to say, listen, I'm the best in this country. You know what I mean? Because I have the title. So I need to gain that first, you know, and the BUY, whatever I need to gain, whatever steps I need to take, I'll take. But if the opportunity comes as well, you know, to go for them other titles as well, please God, I'll go for. But right now in my vision is titles, winning, sitting next to Eddie Hearn and saying, what took you so long to sign me? Whoever it may be, top rank, Bob Burnham, Golden Boy, whatever, whoever it needs to be, even Mick Hennessy, you know, because I've been at them people for a while now, telling them I'm going to be their next signing.
So you mentioned earlier Campbell Hatton. So is it true you're kind of calling him out? You want to get on that Matchroom rostrum? You want to get seen? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, listen. Some people have it blessed. Like, you know, Connor came at me when I called him out saying, jealousy, man. What does he know, man? You know, man, he comes from the same kind of cloth, but respects to him, he kind of made his own legacy. You know what I mean? He did what he did. He got what he done. And he's in a beautiful position because he worked hard. One thing I'll give him credit, you know, his hard work is beautiful, but sometimes his mouth does too much of the talking. Like he talks some crazy stuff, but it is what it is. But yeah, he came at me when I called out, you know, Campbell Hatton, Blue Moon, Green Moon, whatever his name is. But I just feel like, you know, it's the name that got him where he is, and he knows it. Like let's not beat around the bush. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The only reason why he's in the position he is because of his dad. If it wasn't for his dad, he wouldn't be nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Let's be truthful. He'd be at the back of the queue, where he deserves to be, because there's hungry fighters such as myself and out there that sacrifice brain cells, that give everything, that, you know, money, you know, food and everything, you know, leave their families, their daughters, everything, you know, just to get to that goal and reach it and get that contract, what they deserve. Every fighter out there wants a TV platform because they know what they're about and they know they're going to shine, such as myself, because I know they put me in front of that TV, like the rest is history. I'm telling you, and it annoys me because he doesn't deserve to be at that type of platform. Too many great boxers before him have paved the way and have worked hard the hard way for, you know, someone like him that doesn't have the pedigree or the experience to even be at that type of level. Where we could say about the Conor Benn situation, at least he went off to Australia and other places and fought and gained that experience and gained that respect and went to different gyms. You know what I mean? You know, don't be hiding out in your uncle's gym.
In his defense, though, if he's offered this deal, you're going to take it, aren't you? If
oh, yeah,
hell
yeah, like, you know, man. You know, I respect that. Given that opportunity, you take it, no problem. But just bear in mind, there's so many journeymans you can face before you face a real dog. Do you understand? A real animal. And when that time comes, just be ready. And I'm telling you right now, I'm 2-on-1. If he thinks I'm easy work, let's go. I'll show you how easy work I am. Because you're facing 10-0, not even 10-0, 0-10, 0-5, and how are you supposed to learn? Okay, I'm not saying you to go and fight a 10-1 fighter or something like that. I'm asking you if these, you know, I understand your first fight was okay, whatever. You needed to get that you were scared, you were nervous. Everyone's allowed to be nervous on their debut and that type of platform. I respect that. I ain't hating on the guy. I'm just speaking facts. But make sure your next fight is a little step up. Do you know what I mean? I'm them type of fighters. I ain't afraid to risk it. If I first fight, I'll step it up. You know, second fight, I'll step it over even more. Look at my record. It shows. First fight, you face a 7-1 fighter. Second fight, you go straight into a 50-50 fight and doing your first 6-rounder. It's unheard of. Who does that nowadays? Everyone is too scared. They're jumping on bin man, grass cutters. No disrespect to them. I know they're trying to earn their keep, but please, like, you know what I mean? People are paying good money for this stuff, you know.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to say in their defense, I honestly don't think it's their call. So I'm going to use an example. I've spoken to a couple actually of amateurs where I've asked them, top class amateurs, and I've asked them, would you turn over now? And their response has been no, because number one, they think that the quality of boxers that they get at elite level in the amateurs would be way beaten a world champion. I mean, they're beating girls and boys all day long. Do you know what I mean? That are better than some of the pros. And so for them, they see it as a backward step. But I also get on the other side that they've kind of got to play the game. You're in I guess, in a better position because you can guide your own career a little bit more. But whereas if you're with a massive
promotion,
stable,
they basically
and
own
promotions, I very much doubt. I could be wrong, but I very much doubt you have much say in the journey. Do you know what I'm saying?
Someone actually said that to me as well once. Like, he goes, when I called him out, someone texted me, goes, I understand your call, I understand your hunger, and I respect it. And he goes, well, you have to bear in mind as well, Francie, right now, you know, his words, not mine. He goes, right now, they're just pimping him out. I goes, it's a harsh word to say, but, you know, boxing is like that. There's bare boxers out there that have been pimped out, realistically and truthfully, have been robbed, are like in bad positions because they let other people guide their career. At the end of the day, you're the fighter. You come first. Without your say, nothing happens. If he wanted to pack it in, everything else falls. So the person that I can't name said, like, listen, at the end of the day, it's a business. They need another Hatton. They need someone with a name like that to get people to come to shows again. Do you know what I mean? Because let's be realistic. Ricky Hatton's supporter is unbelievable. They support true and true. And if they hear a Hatton at the end of it, they're going to ride and die with you, no matter who you fight. Do you know what I mean? And when he said that to me, I was like, well, given the opportunity, I'm still going to take his head off.
Fair enough. So with that in mind, ultimate goal. What's your ultimate goal?
Ultimate goal, whole career or short-term goal?
Whole career.
Whole career to be the first Irish world champion, you know, in different weight classes, please God. And, you know, please God as well, unify and just prove everyone wrong. And that's my goal. You know, people may laugh at me and say, hell no, you're not good enough at this and that. But listen, at the end of the day, you know, I have some things that a lot of boxers don't have, and that's heart, balls, determination, and drive. You know, I've been through so much in my life that, you know, half of these boxers or some of these people wouldn't be able to survive. You know what I mean? I don't talk much about it because I don't feel like, you know, they need to know. Nobody needs to know my story. At the end of the day, it's the ending of my story, how I've achieved the goals. And if they wanna, I'll write a biography. You can buy the book. But for now, it's just it's just to achieve my goals and prove everyone that's doubted me and prove people that don't believe in me, more or less to inspire the next generation as well and say, look, anything you want to do, no matter what people say, it's achievable. You know what I mean?
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure, Francy.
It's been an honor. Honestly, honor.
I'm glad that we finally got to chat. Until next time, thanks very much for giving us your time.
Thank you very much for having me. Absolute honor. Thank you.